Oh, I just realised I've got to do a fucking news segment, haven't I? Shit.
Oh, I'm just using this as the preamble bit for the intro, by the way.
I'll keep that image going, oh shit, I've got to do the news.
It is time to tune up the band. And Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! It is another episode of the Sweet Chinwag podcast. I am Sam, alongside Dan and Reardon, as we continue our journey through the wacky world of professional wrestling. Afternoon, chaps, on a day that we never usually record. It's all weird to me.
Everything is strange and I don't like it.
Just for the laugh and for reference, yeah, we're recording this on a Thursday when we usually record on a Saturday because we all found out that we're quite busy over the week. Well, I say we, I'm quite busy over the weekend. Sorry. Don't blame me. Blame the significant other.
Kind of busy. Things are happening.
Everything's happening all at once. But no, how have you been, chaps?
I'm all right. Everything's just confusing now. That's it, honestly.
It's going to be really weird having a Saturday where I'm not recording or talking about wrestling with you. But yet here we are on a Monday.
I know, it's going all... I keep saying this is like full-on wacky woohoo week.
It really freaking is. Oh gosh, right, get out the mentality, Sam. It's a Saturday, it's a Thursday. We haven't even seen SmackDown yet, so we can skip over the news. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately though, it still means we have to mention Raw, so...
Oh gosh, you're right. Anyway, we give you this...
escaping that.
We give you this podcast thanks to those lovely people over at SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and through the wonderful person that is Project Dits every Wednesday. I love adding that bit at the end. Dits has been so lovely. He's been so cool for us, and we're so appreciative of the new people and the new listeners that have come in through Project Dits. You lot are awesome. Thank you for listening to us and accepting us, and I'm so looking forward to the future. That's for sure.
Oh, of course.
All right.
Yeah.
So, before we get on with this episode, where we review Backlash 2000, quite possibly the greatest Backlash since WrestleMania Backlash this year, it is time to visit Dan for this week's, quite shorter, but we'll see how far that goes, wrestling news.
Dun 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 down.
Wrestling news.
It's still 40 minutes long.
Yes.
Look, right, it just means we're talking about different stuff.
That's true.
No, so first off, I actually want to just kind of run it back a little bit, just to go over some companies we don't normally really get the chance to talk about, just because we're normally going through the week and there's normally a whole bunch of stuff that's happened by this point.
Yeah.
So first off, a huge shout out to Ring of Honor.
Oh,
For the latest edition of ROH TV. Some absolutely amazing matches on there. But Tony Deppen beating Tracy Williams for the ROH television title, absolutely fantastic. Tony Deppen's going to be huge for ROH.
Oh, that was a great match. That's up there as one of my favourites of the year so far.
And, honestly, it speaks to the level of ability that Tony Deppen has, because often, a lot of time, he's been used as someone to make other people look better, simply because he is that good. But him getting the title and holding it for Violence Unlimited is, A, huge for the group.
Yeah.
But B, I really think is important in setting him in with the rest of them, because I feel like a lot of Tony Deppen's image and the way he wrestles may seem a little off-piste with the rest of the group.
I get what you mean.
Or at least I saw people who were like, "Oh, what's Tony Deppen doing next to Brody King and all that?" But like this sets it in, and like he is obviously here to stay.
Yes.
He's here to make his mark.
And I hope he does
also,
with that really great... I've rarely seen it, which is a bad thing, but every time I look at it, I go, damn, does the TV title look nice now.
Oh, ROH's titles look great.
Mm.
But also shout out to Flamita and Bandido. I mean, again, Bandido is amazing. And if you're not already checking out Bandido's matches, go and do it.
Bandido's such like an amazing luchador, Reardon. Like he is so smooth in that ring.
Ooh, I like that.
Like it is genuinely worth stating how good he is. And it's a shame that a lot of people haven't had the chance to see him as much.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of his work in PWG.
Yes.
But he's doing lots of stuff with Ring of Honor now. And he always kind of flits between companies, freelancing. But he is amazing.
So good.
Again, going over to another company that we don't get a lot of opportunities to talk about, but I'm making a point of talking about this week. It's MLW.
Ooh,
now,
yes.
Generally, I'll be honest, over the last couple months or so, haven't been huge on MLW. Basically, the only reason I've been watching them is for Laredo Kid.
Yes.
But absolutely amazing, and again, fantastic match. This in the latest edition of MLW Fusion. There's something I want to talk about though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say now on Vice, which is
now
quite
on
a
Vice.
big deal.
Oh no, it is absolutely huge for them. All right, but let's get to it. The end of the show, Myron Reed has beaten Leo Rush for the MLW Middleweight Championship. Again, decent match.
Yeah.
Love Leo Rush. Absolutely fantastic here. Haven't had as much chance to see him. Only really seen stuff with New Japan Strong. But he's fantastic there as well. Definitely expect him as one to watch when Best Super Junior comes around.
Oh, yeah.
Because it looks like a couple of the New Japan Strong guys will be getting involved as well. But we see Selena being taken to Boyle Heights with a masked man sitting her down in the chair, and then the chair turns around and it's MF Dario Cueto. It's Azteca Underground. Lucha Underground's spiritual successor.
I can't believe it.
MLW stays winning, boys.
Oh, no.
When I saw that, I was like, holy shoot. It's happening.
Oh, my God.
I thought to myself, how is Apron Bump thinking now? We're all losing our creative, or like collective shit.
I'm there, and people like, yo, you've got to watch MLW. I said, okay, then I guess watch it. Oh, some decent match. I see Boyle Heights. I'm like, hello. This just got interesting.
Lucha Underground never died. Woo!
And so now we have Azteca Underground to the spiritual successor, and I am excited as shit. Obviously, a problem it's going to have is obviously they're not going to have the range of people they had before.
Yeah, given that everyone's now been
and
snapped
also,
up.
well, everyone's been snapped up, but also like their experience with Lucha Underground has burned a lot of bridges, understandably.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of people I can't expect to see coming back. But given the kind of people that MLW do have and their focus on showcasing luchadors and then lighter weight class wrestling, I'm excited because, I mean, again, Laredo Kid,
Yes.
Leo Rush,
Yes.
a whole wealth of people that they have in there. And let's not forget, right? Let's say they just decide, like, you know what? Jacob Fatu's turning up.
Ooh.
Like,
Yes, please.
hell yeah. And again, I mean, of course, we're not saying he's a like-for-like swap, but, you've got someone like Calvin Tankman
Oh.
that could easily fill, like, a Matanza style role of just being a straight up enforcer.
All right, now you're really piquing my interest here, Dave.
There is really no reason that they can't pull off something like this. And again, if they get more talent in from AAA, CMLL, the new promotion that's recently started up, which is Federacion.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Although I know Federacion are doing a bunch of stuff with ROH, but again, it's fair to say loads of MLW guys are on New Japan Strong, who are also on Ring of Honor sometimes as well. But no, so super excited. Again, crazy news coming out of it. Speaking of Federacion, we then have Andrade challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega title.
The way it should be, and we all know the result of what that should be.
It's a shame that it came after the other match announcement.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I'm still not happy about. But you deal with it as it comes, and as I've said before, it's not like exactly. It's like the joke always goes, where it's like Mexican promotions like 90-day no compete. I don't know what you mean. This is a different person.
Yes, he's Andrade El Idolo now, which I think great choice. I mean, if he wasn't going to go back to El Sombra, then yeah, Andrade El Idolo is just mwah.
I think it's great.
But yeah, like make that is a high stakes caliber main event for Triple Mania, and I swear to God, if Kenny wins that match, then it's like them just like no. I mean, I like Kenny. We all love Kenny. He's just uber talented guy.
We all like Kenny because we're all semi-sane.
But we also love Andrade as well.
Yes, so Andrade. We want Andrade to win, without question. Not even a question.
But no. So again, super excited for what they have coming up. Just going to quickly swing over to Japan quickly, because we had Dontaku Night 2.
Yes.
And so it's worth saying for this event, as far as we know, there were 2 people who had to miss the event due to COVID. People are still speculating. No confirmed reports, but not going to throw speculation out there.
Yeah.
But like there was again some good matches in there. The main event was pretty good. Unfortunately, because of who it is, I feel like I can't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
But when Shingo wins, I'll be yelling at the top of my lungs.
Not if, but when, huh?
No. It is a
when.
question. It is absolutely a question of when, because you've got to be super popular if you can post a picture of you butt naked on Twitter like Shingo did the other day.
Either that or be Megan Thee Stallion. So yeah, you're right.
True. like the thing is, right, is that obviously the thing that is worrying about this is that obviously Shingo he's never really been seen by management as a New Japan guy.
He's always been seen as a Dragon Gate guy.
Like he is still somehow seen as a Dragon Gate guy despite the amount of time that has passed.
And the fact he's been putting on phenomenal matches that are talked about to this day.
But yeah, he's doing week in, week out, like 4-star minimums.
Which is insane.
And like again, I mean, I'm here on throwing it now. I'm saying pretty much barring like complete disaster, Shingo's running pretty high on my best of 2021.
Wow, okay.
No, like Shingo for me, like he's still at number 1. Like he was last year, he's still at number 1. And so,
but like no, he's been putting in work, and so again, for me. And for a lot of viewers of New Japan, which is worth saying, like a lot of people have been saying they've just been dropping off because of the Road 2 shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, if you are, IWGP management, and you don't put the title on Shingo, like, I imagine that's going to make quite a lot of people drop off. Although, again, it's worth saying, I really want to watch more Dragon Gate. I just don't want to. I really need to watch more of it, I feel.
I don't blame you on that one. And
because apparently people have been saying they've been putting in great stuff this year. I haven't had a chance to catch up with much of it.
I've been catching up as much as I possibly can, given, how busy my schedule can be. But man, they're on really good form. Really, really good form. So
because again, it's saying on the other vein of things. Again, a lot of people pretty dissatisfied with Stardom, but TJPW again putting in work.
Yeah. And of course that isn't because of Mac. Well, actually, no. A lot of it has to do with Maki Ito. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, look, there's more to TJPW than just Maki Ito. As much as we love Maki Ito,
that is true. But still, we're simps for Maki Ito over here in the West.
That is true. We are simps, and we know we are.
We're simps, and we know we are.
I said that's why I want to go see Maki Ito at Eve, so we can get that chant over.
Yes.
English fans, UK fans will love it. But no, TJPW have been putting in great work. One people have been telling me to check out is, I believe, A2W, who again I haven't had near enough chance to watch.
Same.
And Sudaringo, who I haven't had. Again, I've caught some of their stuff, but not as much as I wanted to. But it's worth saying they were putting in work at the end of last year as well. But moving over now to back to the US, and we're going to start at Raw, and we'll just build up from there.
It's not saying much.
Right, that's not too painful for all of you.
Let's just get on with it. Do it.
Okay, we had a Raw tag team match between AJ Styles and Omos versus The New Day.
It was practically the same match as their one at WrestleMania, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. We had probably the thing that got the most traction for anything WWE did on Mondays recently, but we now know Eva Marie is returning, which is split opinion.
Woo!
And if you want my view on it, I'm not going to throw in all this stuff because, as we understand, it wasn't like people were released and then she was brought in. She's been there since I think October.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, because it is Eva Marie, would do that, regardless of the situation.
I think people were just kind of conflating the two. As far as I understand, she's coming in a managerial capacity.
Interesting.
For that Parker Boudreaux, who's apparently skipping NXT and going straight to Raw. So I have no idea.
Interesting one.
It's a bold choice.
I'm not angry at Eva Marie returning. I'm more upset over the fact of who they released. I think that's the thing you should be upset about
I'm more upset over the people who were released. I guess the thing for me is I've always just kind of thought, what does she offer that the other people can't?
Nuclear heat.
See, again, though, this has opened up the whole, what constitutes heat debate.
Yeah.
And this is the thing I'm not going to get into. Maybe we'll save it for an episode one time.
True.
But it just kind of reminds me of that. It's that one sign that someone held where it's like, excuse me, sir, I feel compelled to tell you that we are not booing you because of your effective heel work. We are simply booing you because we don't like you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real.
And I feel like that's the thing where it's people are like, oh, she's gotten so much heat with the IWC, but I look at it and I think, no, I think people just genuinely disagree with her on some fundamental points. And that's what it is. Yeah. Again, this is a whole thing about, we're arguing the semantics of wrestling here.
Yeah.
which is not our remit as much as we want to do an episode combining wrestling and philosophy.
That is very true.
We will do it. We're going to do it.
Which is, we're going to bring in a philosopher to do that for us because we don't know shit.
I mean, the offer's still there, Abigail, so,
Come on, Abigail. Why won't you take our calls, Abigail?
Okay. Now on to the second most interactive with thing. It was the Charlotte Flair versus Dana Brooke match, and okay, let's just get it out of the way, right? It was the WWE tweeting, "What an effective counter." To which my question is, to what? She just did a handspring, and then Charlotte was like, "I'm going to chop block you."
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, that was a move." Yes.
I mean, I've seen more effective handsprings in the Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow match, but I digress.
But we move.
We had John Morrison with The Miz versus Damian Priest, and it was just kind of a normal match.
It needs more tomatoes.
Needs more hits in the crotch area.
No, not in Johnny's Morrison's, please.
Oh, wow. Really? Johnny's Morrison's? Really? That's what we're going for here? Dear God. How we have
Cedric
fallen.
Benjamin versus Lucha House Party was basically just a standard by the book tag match.
Oh, yeah, and now Cedric is now split with Shelton now.
Yeah.
So basically, Cedric's
It's
now
almost
back
like
at square
I
one. He's going to be...
It's like I never saw it coming.
So I guarantee you, next Raw, he's going to be fighting for the 24/7 championship.
Probably.
Oh.
Which is a shame, because Cedric's amazing. Get Cedric back to NXT, stick him in the Cruiserweight division.
Yes.
Even more cursed Cruiserweight action now. Angel Garza versus Drew Gulak. Reardon, I don't know how to explain this to you.
Oh, God. All the best stuff starts with that, right?
Angel Garza put a rose in Drew Gulak's tights and then, in kayfabe, kicked the rose up his ass. I literally cannot fucking describe it without... That's the best I can do.
That's the best you can do.
I think isn't this the initiation to become one of Adam Rose's rosebuds?
Possibly. But... like, hey, that's it. And, man, it's a shame because, random aside here, Drew Gulak put on a good match with Akira Tozawa on WWE main event.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
And A, annoying to see, A, Akira Tozawa still in the ninja gimmick gear, and B, Akira Tozawa on main event. But, we move.
Please. If I get any more upset.
Now... we had... So, basically, if you haven't been attuned to it, if you don't know, Mansoor has picked up a 49-0 win streak on, I believe it's 205 Live.
Ah, yes, Mr. Cole Quinn.
Now, right, two things. A, the way he slid into that ring was smooth as hell.
Yes.
Second of all, he's been on Raw for 1 minute, and that's already now 49-1.
Wow.
I like Mansoor.
And it was a DQ.
Yeah. And he gets that. Building this winning streak up, only to just, DQ loss. There you go. Well done. I'm sure the people of Saudi Arabia won't mind it, because they don't watch Raw. Ah, man, this deal's going really well for you, isn't it, Vince?
With all due respect to the boys and the big dogs, that is some prime new legacy booking.
Oh Jesus! Yes. Wasn't it that Johnny said by the time when he was playing the career mode, and he heard Cole? Oh wait, that sounds like a guy who gets his ass kicked by Cesaro.
And now going on, we're skipping over the women's tag match just because it, again, like, personally, in my mind, Lana and Naomi, amazing babyface tag team.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're sowing any seeds of it being potentially like they might go heel, because there's literally 0 point.
Could you imagine Naomi as a heel with her gimmick?
That'd be so weird.
It'd be a cyberpunk gimmick at that point.
It would be a cyberpunk gimmick, but I feel like if you're gonna turn Naomi heel,
look, if you're gonna
and the hurt business doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. If you're gonna turn Naomi heel, you basically have to go full Janelle Monáe, and I don't think they're gonna do that.
WWE can't handle Janelle Monáe.
That is very true.
John Laurinaitis is like, what's a Janelle Monáe?
Real talk. They will. If I said that, they'd be like, "Who the fuck is Janelle Monáe?"
Oh, of course they would.
But that's the only way it works.
Do you not remember a chunk of the WWE fan base being like, "Who is Bad Bunny? I don't care." I'm like, yes, you might not know him because he's a Latin artist. It doesn't mean he isn't still popular.
Yeah, he doesn't mean he's not ridiculously popular.
But going through this match, Bobby Lashley gets the win via pinfall, and then Drew McIntyre appears and claymores the both of them as it cuts to black. Again, I will try and speed through this because we've still got another 2 shows to go.
Oh, dear God.
Full Count Anywhere match, Leon Ruff, as I say, Swift Scott. Amazing. Great work from the 2 of them. We now have Scott's new group.
Scott's entourage.
AJ Francis, Brianna Brandy, and then the newly no longer Ashanti the Adonis, but Ashanti Hale.
I love it. The look on this kind of team is fucking awesome.
Oh, it's straight up amazing.
Like, Reardon, if you find a picture of it, go and find it, because it's like, you look at that team, it's like, yeah, this is the sort of team I want to see dominating NXT.
We then had we had The Way looking for William Regal, and then they have a whole small spat. Austin Theory starts speaking to Scarlett. The whole thing happens. Asher Hale versus Cameron Grimes. Asher Hale, I can't remember what his name was before. He was on Evolve.
Oh God, it's escaped me as well.
Yeah, he used to be on Evolve, and it's real. The name is not sticking with me. Amazing wrestler. Got a great chance to show himself off here. Got a lot of good offense in. A lot of great moves, like doing the kick to then bring himself up onto the top rope.
Anthony Henry.
Sorry?
Anthony Henry.
Anthony Henry.
Yes.
But no,
yeah,
amazing from him. And again, someone to watch out for anyone that hasn't watched Evolve before.
Yes. No, he is definitely one to look out for, because he's got such a unique look to him and a unique moveset to him, and you're like, yeah, I think he's going to do really well in NXT. I also love Cameron Grimes' gimmick of being a crypto millionaire, and he's having this rivalry with the $1 Million Man. It's amazing.
It's so great, even though it's kind of ridiculous. Even though it's ridiculous, almost like that's what wrestling can be.
Exactly.
Going on to the next match, personally, I'm just throwing this idea out here, were it to theoretically happen. But Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa pair up with Grizzled Young Veterans against Imperium in a War Games match. Theoretically.
Ooh.
Theoretically. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Mini book. Shouldn't that be the match where Timothy Thatcher turns on Tommaso?
That should be the match. Just like they did with Roderick Strong.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yes, you'll be basically doing the same thing again, but also it works.
Yeah.
Then we had Saray versus Zeta Ramia, 2 relatively new debuting people. Again, I'm happy everyone's being really, really impressed by both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know personally, you don't really want to have 2 new people who are kind of getting hot facing off each other, but this was actually a pretty good showcase match.
Absolutely. I love how the WWE NXT Twitter account was like, now that's a strong style dropkick. No, that's just a dropkick and just twatting someone in the face. That ain't strong style. That's just being a Japanese Joshi wrestler.
You have to remember, though, strong style is when a Japanese wrestler.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, God. I was going to say, that's just being a Joshi wrestler, but no, Dan, you're right.
That's what it is. Just
Strong Style was just being
Japanese
Japanese.
wrestler
I really think so.
Japanese wrestler does anything strong style.
Strong Style Japanese. I think I'm Strong Style Japanese. I really think so.
It was like oh god, I think it was IQ Wrestler tweeted. It was like, that wasn't very King's Road of you, bro. Just like mood.
Wow.
God, I love you, IQ.
We had Jake Atlas versus LA Knight. Amazing match. I will always be in my heart pulling and supporting for Jake Atlas.
Yeah, agreed.
Something about him to me just makes him a very natural babyface and someone that could be huge for NXT in the future.
Worked really well with LA Knight as well. Very impressed by how well they both work together.
Then we had the tag team street fight for the women's tag team titles. Candice LeRae finally has gold in NXT. It took long enough. We got her.
I don't know if it was the Deadlock boys that may have said that this title has now been flip-flopped around just as much as the WCW title was in 2000. No, I think it was Cultaholic that said that, I believe. But
I mean, yeah, it has been. They've done like a lot of quick reigns with it already, and it's only existed for about 3 months at this point.
But I think it's worked, which is weird. How that
I don't think it's been awful. I think the only bad decision was the one that they did where they were like, "Yes, we'll give you the title to lose it the week after."
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I can't really complain. I mean, Shotzi and Ember have both been fantastic in it, and there's no reason they can't keep going for it again. It's good for getting heat on the way.
Yes.
Especially with, as we go on off, we had the interaction between Balor, Cross, Dunn, Kyle O'Reilly, and then Johnny Gargano came out and then hit Cross with the NA title. So, having them all there with a title, and I guess, if you want to throw that in and start ribbing on Austin Theory or something.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I know. Or something like that. But no, I mean, pretty good all around. But let's, again, try and keep this quick. Let's go over to AEW.
Ah, yes.
We had Blood and Guts, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. But we'll just give you a full run through of the card if my laptop decides it wants to start working.
This wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. The whole event actually as a whole, I didn't mind a lot. The Blood and Guts match, I know a lot of people. Well, Dan will get into why people were unhappy for silly reasons. It was okay. It was an okay Blood and Guts match. I wouldn't say it's the best War Games match I've ever seen, but as its first kind of iteration in AEW, you did what you set out to do. It was good.
You did the job.
You did the job.
But yeah, so we'll get through into the start of it. Omega and Nakazawa versus Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. Again, pretty kind of standard tag match. It had a few moments where like Omega deciding not to, saying like, Omega won't be coming out, and then Kingston and Moxley go to the ring. Then all of a sudden, Omega appears. Omega walks out. Match ends, and then Omega comes back out with the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks.
Oh, as usual.
Hitting finishes. And then they do the whole, 1, 2, 3, fake pin, whatever. We have Shida versus Britt Baker for the AEW Women's title at Double or Nothing on May 29th. Super excited for that. It's basically a year in waiting at this point.
Yep. Super excited for this one.
QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes, and I'm happy that I'm happy with the way they went about this, because the whole point is QT isn't the focus.
Yeah.
Correct.
So having it so that Cody wins is maybe, as some people said, as obnoxious as it is. It's kind of how it should go, because it's not that QT is the one you need to watch out for. It's the rest of the members of his group that you need to watch out for.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky chasing Darby Allin with a trash can.
I thought it was funny. Maybe that's just me.
And then Darby Allin gets thrown down concrete stairs.
Because it's Darby Allin, of course it does.
There's a lot of stairs being used prominently.
Now, question is, who fell down the better, Darby Allin, Mick Foley, or Zach Gowen?
Zach Gowen was in a wheelchair. He had no choice but to take it. The one that I'm so excited for, Jon Moxley versus Yuji Nagata next week.
I am so pumped for this match, like you would not believe.
And we get to the blood and guts match. So the thing that, I mean, again, I feel like the people are making this as if it's some kind of running problem with AEW, which is they have a really hot, pretty violent event, and the last moment they ruin it.
Yeah, a lot of people did compare this to Revolution, and I'm just like, but right. So the ending spot, if you've not seen it or have heard of what happened, Reardon, or one of the final spots, I should say, was MJF and Chris Jericho at the top of the cage fighting, and then MJF pushes Jericho off and he hits the entrance ramp. A lot of people got angry because Jericho had his fall broken with an airbag when he hit the ground. To which I say, dude, he's 50 years old. He's not as svelte as he used to be, and if he had hit concrete, he would have been seriously hurt.
Yeah, like
yeah. So as I've said with this, my issue isn't the finish. It's purely from a production standpoint.
That as well.
which is just, if it was gonna happen, I either have the camera beneath the matting.
Yeah. Like
WWE used to do for Jeff Hardy spots.
Or Shane spots as well.
Yeah, or Shane wants to have it underneath the matting, so when he falls, you can't see him. Fine. Or you do it what I term Mick Foley style, and you do it from the top.
Yeah. I think was it the cameraman followed Jericho as he was falling, and then when he hit the airbag, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he hit it, you could see the underside of the cardboard that they'd use to, present the ramp, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing. I have no issue with the finish. Personally, I think it's a good finish. From a production standpoint, I could see why people might be annoyed, but I'm certainly not annoyed that Jericho didn't take a fall onto to steel and concrete.
Yeah. Because you're mad if you think anyone, even if someone who was 20, would take that bump or without something breaking their fall.
Yeah, like, do you genuinely think?
Unless your name's Darby Allin, of course.
Yeah, but even still.
No, but you know what? Like, all intents and purposes, everyone who was in that match, they did a damn fine job. Horrible blading jobs by FTR.
Yeah.
Like, they were gushing.
oh no.
And of course, as is tradition with matches that are quite violent like this, of course the Pinnacle were wearing all white because it just makes the blood that more visceral.
Oh, great! They went for the John Woo technique.
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
I think it was Dax Harwood posted a picture of his gear after the match. He had taken off and had a shower. It's just drenched in blood. But fun fact, he was wearing Bret Hart socks under his boots.
As you do, I suppose.
As you do. But no, really good. Well, not say really good, but it was a good one. Good way to start Blood and Guts, to do your version of War Games. It was never gonna be like the all-in-all greatest one of all time, because I felt like booking wise, it felt like they were under the spotlight of NXT's way of doing War Games, which is not the best way of doing War Games, where they have like I've noticed it recently with the NXT War Games where everyone else is in the ring and then they do the stand down or like the stare off, and then it's just like it's all anarchy. I just thought, why not just make it pure unbridled anarchy like it used to be in WCW? But
that's the thing. Obviously, it's about how people decide to do things and how they decide to.
I guess they were like thinking, we got to kind of try and see if we can stay on NXT's level. So I guess book it around how they do it, adding our own flair to it. Maybe that'll work out for people, trying to watch this match. But what do we know? We're just three idiots who talk about wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, good, not bad. Not a bad special for AEW Dynamite. But I think, I'm with you, Dan. I think I'm more excited for the fact that Jon Moxley's going up against Yuji Nagata.
That's what I am here for. That is what I am ready for, and I'm going to be seeing it as soon as I can.
Oh, Dan, I guess the last thing we need to talk about in terms of this week's news is the future of Daniel Bryan.
Well, yeah, obviously up in the air right now, at least as far as we know. His contract expired after the latest edition of SmackDown.
Very surprising.
I mean, yeah, obviously part of it is where does Bryan go next? What comes next? At least for my mind, reading it and reading a lot of the interviews with him, he's kind of saying like, "Look, I'm just burned out of wrestling at this point."
Which is fair.
You can tell he's passionate. He's still very passionate about wrestling, but you could also tell that he wasn't all that pleased with the build up and indeed the match at Mania, and that I feel that might have had more of an effect than I think we all know on Bryan.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, look, I've made it clear on social media where I'd like to see Daniel Bryan go next. I think, a great little farewell tour of the Indies going up against guys he's inspired would be quite a good way to end his career on his own terms. I mean, if he's holding out for more money with the WWE, why not? I mean,
why not?
It's
Get
entirely
that
up to
money.
him. This is a perfect way for someone to end his career, doing it the way he'd want to do it. He's basically got his entire rest of his career in his own hands, not in Vince. He hasn't got it. Well, Vince hasn't got it in his hands.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, as I said, I think a lot of it is he just wants to tone down now. He just, he's done with it, and he wants to find his next path through. I mean, obviously, whether or not that's as a coach, trainer, booker, whatever, backstage thing he decides to do. Obviously we all have our dream matches and stuff, and if he decided to do something like just one last tour of the Indies, then amazing.
Yeah,
I'd be all here for it. I'd support him every single way through it.
Absolutely.
If he just decides, I'm just going to renew, because a thing I thought of was that maybe it's just around him renewing his contract not as a wrestler but taking a contract as backstage.
Yeah,
It could be some of the hang up. But again, that's speculation on my part.
there you go. Confirmed. Bryan Danielson versus Josh Barnett, Bloodsport 7. Book it, Josh.
Right, I was there and I said, frankly, because I mean, ideally for me, the ultimate bookend to his career, to me, would have been Nigel McGuinness.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
But being that Nigel McGuinness does not wrestle anymore, and in a way cannot. Personally, I would say, if you're saying the ultimate indie bookend, it's got to be Homicide.
Yeah. I would go
Agreed.
like the two I could only think of. If it weren't Nigel, it's got to be Homicide, and if it can't be Homicide, then I don't know, by hook and crook and by some miracle, Joe.
That's that. Like that's the thing. If I'm saying like you, I'm saying in terms of like not what would be like the great retirement match, because I mean we could be throwing out names forever for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Personally, like for me, if I was saying the ultimate match, that would be like the ultimate bookend. Then I would say like Daniel Bryan versus, Daniel McCarbe, Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
One of the great technical wrestlers of the New Age. But if I'm saying like, because I'm one of the people that's like, I don't know, but when it comes to retirement stuff, like I like bookending.
Yeah.
Like finishing where you started.
And what a better way to do it?
Like, two of the ROH originals against each other. Fucking Western style standoff, gunslingers.
Does this mean that Daniel Bryan has to come out in a duster and a cowboy hat? It has to be.
I mean, it has to be done.
As long as he comes up to the final countdown, I'm happy.
Yes, as long as he comes out to the final countdown, I think we'll all be happy. It will be interesting to see where he goes, though. Once he, if he and when he comes out of the wilderness to let everyone know. But Dan, does that mean we are done with this week's news?
We are done with the news.
Woo!
Hey.
46 minutes in. Whoa!
Oh yes, a real quick one.
Pass that down, please. Please pass that down.
Slightly. I'll try to, but I can't give you any promises on that one.
Just cut out Raw. Raw.
We'll cut out Raw. Perfect, because I think Mexico and Japan was more than enough. As ever, recommendation corner. Graps Apparel doing awesome work as per usual, and still coming out with even more awesome stuff. So yes, be sure at checkout to type in the code SweetChin for 10% off of your order at Graps Apparel. And in terms of another thing for recommendation corner, Reardon, do you have anything in mind? Because I have a little something in mind for mine. Mine is going into where we're going into video games, Resident Evil Village, which I will be playing on stream on Friday. Cha-ching, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But also Itchy Tasty, an unofficial history of Resident Evil, the book that came out last month chronicling the development and the people behind Resident Evils 1 to 4. Great book. Highly recommended. But no, Reardon, do you have anything for recommendation corner?
No, you know what? You go for it. That's it. That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough. All right then. With that, it is time to talk about Backlash 2000. On the 30th of April, may I add, emanating from the MCI Center in Washington D.C., the nation's capital of America. So this had
USA.
This had an attendance of 16,614 with a pay-per-view buy rate of 1.62, which is quite impressive for a B pay-per-view in WWF at that time. So, gentlemen, a couple of fun facts here. This was, I believe, the second or third pay-per-view to be broadcast on Channel 4. Hence why I have quite fond memories of this one. As well as being the very first return of Steve Austin since his running over at Survivor Series in 1999.
Thank you, Rikishi.
I did it for The Rock. So, no, question. Have you seen this pay-per-view before? And if so, thoughts and memories from this pay-per-view?
It was literally absolutely wiped from my memory, despite it being something that I watched.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I do remember this pay-per-view. I haven't seen it in a bit. I want to say only like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years though.
Yeah,
since I last saw it. But no, I mean, again, I remember it being, I remember being a great pay per view. I remember it being one of the ones that is held up in the pantheon, if you will,
Yeah, for such as I said, a B pay-per-view. I'm surprised when I was looking through Cage Match and looking through reviews how how well this pay-per-view holds up and how much people hold this in such high regard. Which is surprising because I know for such a very short pay-per-view and being the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, surprised the heck out of me. That people do hold this with such reverence and hold it so close to their hearts. But I'm waffling. I should get on with everything that goes on. So we're going to start off with the WWF opening crawl, the intro that they had, which was so hype as... that is my childhood, that opening WWF Attitude logo. So really freaking hype. I mean, I know everyone has the 2002 Ruthless Aggression one, but the 2000 one with the synth, like hard rock synth music and the crowd going nuts and the flame effects that reveal the attitude. I'm like, yeah, this is peak WWF at this time.
Oh, of course it is.
Getting rid of the worldwide leader in sports entertainment for just being just this fucking WWF.
I don't know. I mean, again, obviously, it's something so of its time.
God, it is so of its time.
But also, part of it that I absolutely love is just that, like, you watch it and you get excited.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, I remember every time watching Raw and SmackDown, when that opening in Idem played up, I was like, whoa, I'm ready. I'm so fucking ready.
All right, Sam, we get it. You hype.
See, at least it's better than now, then, it's better than now, then, and forever. WWE. Let's be honest. Forever.
Yeah, but let's be real though, right? The current then, now, forever they have is nowhere near as good as the previous one.
Oh no, agreed.
Like the previous one is amazing, and like I don't know why they changed it, but hey, you know.
I think New Legacy's version is better now, then, but.
I mean, like, look, that I'm paying attention to it.
Exactly.
Like, no, the previous version of the Then Now Forever, which I think went up until 2016. That one remains in my head.
Oh, the one with with Vince going, WrestleMania, if you smell what you gotta do, and you hear the glass breaking.
Yeah, and it has the piano playing at the start, which is doing the flat piano chords.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that one. I remember that one. Alrighty, so after that we get the pre-promo package to open up these pay-per-views, which is always famous. This one sees the fallout to WrestleMania 2000 with Vince McMahon betraying The Rock and joining the McMahon-Helmsley regime. And of course, this is all building up to the announcement of Stone Cold being in The Rock's corner for this match against Triple H for the WWF title, which should have been the main event of WrestleMania, but then they decided to make it all about the McMahons and put a McMahon in every corner. I'm still bitter. I'm still bitter about the main event of WrestleMania 2000. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of crazy that like they reached this point where they just got to it and they're like, yeah, the family that own this company are like more important in the wrestling show though, right?
It is funny seeing like no, they were an integral part of multiple storylines and everyone was relatively okay with it up to a point.
Yeah, let's remember at this time that Vince was. When he came back, he was gone off TV for a little bit, but he came back to take back his company because Triple H and Stephanie had kind of taken over.
Yeah,
and so it was he came back to rapturous applause and kicked Triple H in the dick. Cleaned house. So it was like, all right, he's taking back his company. Oh, no, he's just doing his usual stick of joining with the heel faction. Oh, god damn it, Vince.
So the good news is that Vince is back. The bad news is that Vince is back.
I can't express how much of that statement is a mood.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Alrighty, so the opening pyro begins and we get a view of the set, and by God, I love the hook motif for Backlash at this time.
Yeah, I do. Although I do want to know, who What came first, Riddick or this logo?
That is true, because it really does look like the Chronicles of Riddick.
It's just the Riddick knives.
Right. All right, now I need to look up when the first Riddick movie was released.
Right, yeah,
It was like,
I think Pitch Black came out the same year as Backlash. I'm not gonna. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Wait. Okay. Let's see.
It did.
It did.
Riddick came out the 10th of November 2000.
All right. So
Wow.
Backlash beat Riddick by at least several months.
No. According to my one, it came out February 18th.
Ooh.
But but this came out April.
10th of November 2000, United Kingdom. That might be US.
Yeah. US release is February, and then Backlash is April.
Beat it by 2 months.
That sounds like a coincidence.
I can't believe that WWE would just rip off Riddick like this.
I mean, real talk, I can.
yeah, I could. I mean, it was very much the motif at the time.
Here, I'm hearing Big 2021 saying, man, who the hell would copy Riddick?
John Cena? Maybe.
I
mean, he is Dominic Toretto's brother in Fast and Furious 9.
That is true. That is very true. Honestly,
It's all about family.
Honestly, real talk. If in 2021, I could see Randy Orton copying Riddick. I could see him doing it.
Of course.
Like that might he might. I don't see him as being like a big science fiction guy, but he might like adore Pitch Black.
Is it because
he's like that kind of guy?
Is it because of that moment?
In Riddick's gear.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if it's Riddick gear, then surely he's got to get out that boiler suit and the night vision goggles that he had during Legends Night.
Thank you for reminding me about the night vision goggles.
All right, before we stray off far too off course, yes, the hook motif with the hook scaffolding and pendulum against the entrance ray.
So good.
So freaking good. I completely forgot that who should return first thing to a massive pop? Freaking Deborah returned to the WWF to a massive pop using Jeff Jarrett's theme music, may I add as well. So I think a lot of people were expecting Jeff Jarrett with that monster pop, but no. Puppies, as Jerry Lawler says. Deborah has returned to announce the first match.
All right, but before we get to that though, right? First off, the broadcast team seems so much more excited on these shows.
They really do.
They really do.
And second of all, this is when Jerry Lawler was like
horny on main all the time.
Illegally horny.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's a he has to go to horny Alcatraz. That dude at this point,
He's solitary.
Just good lord.
Again, it's not like it's anything new that we're saying. If going hey man, Jerry Lawler was proper horny on main, but he was horny on national TV.
Yes.
Yeah,
every single week.
Listener, if you haven't listened to Jerry Lawler at this point, I don't think you're quite prepared.
Just save yourself.
My God.
Because it is an experience to go through and watch and go back to now, especially.
Just be prepared for a lot of boob jokes and a lot of xenophobic jokes from Jerry Lawler at this time. May I remind no one of the 2000 Royal Rumble with Kaientai, but, to each their own, I guess.
I guess.
If you want the diluted experience, go and play oh god, I think it's just all the SmackDown games have some degree of playing
SmackDown Shut Your Mouth especially.
SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, because I was gonna say Here Comes the Pain, but I remember Taz commentary from that, which is just hilarious.
Yep.
Not disgusting though; it's just funny because it makes no sense.
Absolutely.
I think Jim Ross is in there as well, though.
We get to the opening match. Edge and Christian, tag team champions, going up against D-Generation X of Road Dogg and X-Pac, because I believe at this time Billy Gunn had a rotator cuff injury, so he was out of action. I would just want to say DX come out first to the Run DMC version of their theme, and oh my god, Run DMC did not need to go as hard as they did for the DX song, but by God they did.
But it slaps.
It's so good. This is, of course, to promote the Aggression album that would come out a couple of months later that featured a load of rappers making their own versions of iconic wrestler themes, of course. Let's not forget that Method Man did Know Your Role, which was fucking awesome.
Never forget Mr. Meth.
I also believe that Big Show comes out to his Aggression theme, and I want to say it was Old Dirty Bastard that did his.
It might be, but I can't remember.
I can't remember for the life of it.
I honestly, they got basically every top tier 90s rapper for that album, so it could be literally anyone.
But no, came out.
This is what we've been saying about why the hell doesn't WWE make more use of licensed musicians?
3-6 Mafia.
Literally,
Whoa,
someone pay Vince Staples how much money he wants, and he will do some banger.
Exactly.
No, but like you're gonna say, like Vince Staples, like just get. I don't know who it could do there, right? I'm sure if you had the right person, you could get Denzel Curry to drop a banger for him.
That's true.
Like easy.
Let's get
there's like a ton of modern metal acts that would probably be willing to do a theme for WWE.
There you go. But let's get Aggression 2 and Reckless Intent 2 out.
Yeah, come on, man.
Okay, so DX coming out, great reception because I think more people are actually really liking Run DMC's version of the DX song. Edge and Christian were really damn over it this time. The crowd were hot for those guys as they were coming out. But I guess Deborah got bored halfway through announcing because she just announces Edge and Christian, but she goes Edge and Christian. Like seriously, it's like, what did Christian do to Deborah that made her so pissed off?
This is a rager. I am angry. I'll be writing a letter of complaint.
It's just a weird curiosity on my part, but it's just like she sounded so pissed off to do the announcing of this show. Just for this match. Just one match she does.
She definitely sound happy to be doing anything for it.
Oh, I love this though. So the bell rings, the match starts, and already the crowd is having none of X-Pac. So the whole arena is just shouting, X-Pac sucks, X-Pac sucks.
Oh, is this the height of X-Pac heat?
Yeah, it must be at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it is kind of. Oh yeah, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, here come. We haven't done this for a while. Wrestling Pokedex, baby.
Yeah.
Wrestling Pokedex. So it's quite simple, really, for X-Pac heat. Heat is the concept of getting heat. You're doing a good job as a villain. Basically, you're doing good pantomime villain. X-Pac heat is specifically when they ain't hating you because of your impressive work as a villain. They're hating you because they think that you suck.
Also in the glossary reference, go away heat.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like what I said earlier, where it was just like, excuse me, sir, I feel compelled to tell you that we are not booing because of your effective heel work, but simply because we do not like you as a person.
Also see Baron Corbin heat. Rob Conway heat. Problem is with Rob Conway is that he had a terrible flipping Randy Newman theme song that no one liked.
I'll still never understand the decision to create that theme, because that is just like the last person you want to give it to.
Okay, but it's weird how they say X-Pac sucks, because X-Pac starts off with some really good chain holds. Some good sequence here with Edge, with a backflip off his back, kip up. But then, of course, we find out why he gets X-Pac heat, because he starts going, whoa!
Yeah, I think one part of it as well is that like people who may not have seen the show or may not, be as attuned to this time frame. Edge and Christian were over huge.
God, they had a hell of a reception when they came out.
Like, people loved them. So like basically anyone that was really coming up against them, aside from like maybe the Hardy Boys
and the Dudleys as well.
Dudleys as well, were probably not going to be the best received. And like, I don't know if by this point DX was starting to wear thin.
I think by the height of X-Pac heat, DX was starting to wear fit, because I'm not even sure, were they even together at this point?
They were part of the McMahon-Helmsley regime, but they were basically the lackeys for Triple H and Stephanie at this point.
So it was like not a good time.
This is definitely the tail end of DX's popularity, that's for sure.
I mean, let's just say it like this. I mean, in this case, I think it was a case of people felt X-Pac had run his course, but people still didn't really mind Road Dogg as much, which is, again, weird to say in 2021.
That is very true. We'll get to that as we get into the match. So X-Pac, after that great offense and little spots with Edge, spits on Edge. JR calls it spatting. JR, X-Pac spatting on Edge. Don't you mean spitting, JR? Blackula.
Oh God.
We get quite a callback to the Hardys with a good poetry and motion from Edge and Christian to Road Dogg. Then we have a Bronco Buster to Christian, followed by a wah again from X-Pac.
Let's run it again.
Because it worked so well the first time. Road Dogg doing the shake, rattle and roll, which is the punches in bunches, followed by his incredible dance moves. And then doing the shimmy knee drop to Christian. X-Pac cutting off Christian, distracting the ref long enough for Edge to get the advantage by headbutting a prone Road Dogg. Double reverse DDT from Christian, reversing both X-Pac and Road Dogg to get the hot tag to Edge. A distraction from Tori, though, costs X-Pac as Edge rolls up for 2. Christian then, pissed off by that, grabs Tori for the distraction. X-Pac rolls up Edge for Christian to ring his bell. He gets the bell from the timekeeper and twats X-Pac over the head with it. Quick and Edge and Christian win to retain the tag titles. Quick and hot opener. Nothing really outstanding. Crowd were behind Edge and Christian, but dear God, did X-Pac blade hard afterwards. It was a close-up shot, and he is gushing blood after that. Yeah,
he hit it after the bell.
God, he did ring his bell slightly. So backstage, we see The Rock arrive in a limo with his unbuttoned $500 shirt. Jim Ross letting everyone know. Jim Ross letting everybody know that The Rock is here because everyone thought it was Stone Cold. And JR went to Jerry.
As much as we're there and we just keep saying the $500 shirt, I can't lie. I look back at it now and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to own it though.
Same.
I look at it, I'm like, you know what? Actually, that's not that bad. And I actually kind of like to have that in my wardrobe. Make your assumptions about my fashion sense as you will.
Hey, look, The Rock pulled it off, but I think the only thing that Rock can pull off that nobody else can is that he can wear those shirts unbuttoned.
Yeah. You have to be literally Rock size to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes. Do you honestly think, JR said, do you honestly think Stone Cold would arrive in a limo, Jerry? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Stone Cold, known limo user.
I mean, if he stole it.
If it was a monster truck limo, I could see it.
I was going to say, now, if there was a way that you could turn a pickup truck into a limo.
Yes. That's what we want to see.
No, we don't. That's horrible.
Limo.
Yeah.
A Hummer limo. There we go.
To be fair, the Hummer limo in my head basically screamed mid-2000s rapper, but you know.
I thought it was mid-2000s Sweet 16.
Both.
Also true. Also true, to be fair.
Absolutely both.
Okay, so second match, we have Scotty 2 Hottie versus Dean Malenko for the WWF Light Heavyweight title. Now, this is the backstory to this. A really cool rivalry formed here. Unfortunately, Grandmaster Sexay got injured, which saw Scotty challenge for the Light Heavyweight title and subsequently win. But the go-home show of SmackDown, Dean cheated his way to victory to reclaim, or actually, I believe, win his first Light Heavyweight Championship.
Again, a title that wasn't around for that long, but still.
The caliber of people that held that title, from Tucker, Michinoku, to Brian Christopher at the time, S.A. Rios. Then we had Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, Crash Holly. Like, that's bloody good division.
There were some great names on this title. It's just a shame that it didn't get as much love as it should have. Again, see the cruiserweight title as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Too Cool were really popular in 2000. Let's be honest, they were so popular.
I mean, just a little bit off this. Go watch SummerSlam 2000. Go and watch. I believe it's Too Cool versus Right to Censor.
Yes.
Pre-show. Now, let me just tell you, right? This is like the pre-show match. Rikishi gets a insane pop.
Yeah.
Like, Too Cool get a huge pop, and they're like the first match, and the match really goes like 2 minutes.
It's crazy. I loved Too Cool as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm not even ashamed of it. I think they were great.
Yeah. I'm interested to know how you think Reardon.
Yes, it is goofy. Yes, it is stupid. Yes, it is like in the context of the Attitude Era, like again, so of its time. But you can't deny they didn't get reaction.
Yeah,
no, that's true. At the time, I wasn't a big fan of Too Cool Scoop. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, you right? You think I would have been a bigger fan than both of you, but I just wasn't, and I have no real.
Was it the worm? Was it the worm from Scotty Too Hotty? Was it Scotty doing the worm?
No, because I would have loved the worm.
Was it Scotty's habit of wearing a bucket hat with the top cut out so his hair could stick through?
Looking like McDonald's, looking like he's got McDonald's fries on top of his head.
Was it the really baggy trousers?
Yeah, no, actually, those baggy trousers were those were a choice.
Boot cut trousers, so 2000s.
Yeah.
All right, so this starts fast, like quick counters, drop kicks, great chain wrestling from the pair of them. Malenko's cutting off Scotty for the worm. With each time he's going for it, cutting him off with lariats and chop blocks. Again, this is Dan, you won't believe this. This is the second match I've watched that has ring psychology. So Dean cuts off the leg with a basement drop kick and proceeds to, with elbows and knees, wrapping the knee across the ring post. He's cutting off Scotty's kind of, one thing he can do the worm with. I couldn't believe it. Great ring psychology. But then again, it's Dean Malenko.
See, because the thing is, right, about this, people forget that Scotty was a good wrestler.
He was, yeah. This is a sleeper hit.
In his own right, he was a good wrestler, but people forget that.
Great wrestler. He was tit for tat with Dean in this entire match. These two put on an absolute clinic, believe it or not. So, yeah, big knee drop with a great transition into a knee bar from Malenko. But then an enziguri from Scotty stops Dean in his tracks. A giant superplex, knocking both of them out. But then as they both get up, Dean goes for the powerbomb, reverses into a bulldog, and then we get the worm. Woo! Pops the crowd. Huge. Chop to the head. Big, only for the 2 count, as Dean hooks the ropes, tries to go for a pin himself, hooks the ropes, but gets caught this time by the ref. Big tiger driver for 2. Scotty dumps Dean to the outside, and then we get the ending spot, which, holy crud, what a spot. So both of them at the top rope. Scotty looks like he's going to go for a superplex from the top rope. Dean Malenko reverses that into a ginormous top rope DDT.
It's the kind of thing you would only trust Dean Malenko with.
But it looks like he spikes Scotty right on top of his head, which makes it even more.
Yeah.
But that is enough to give Dean Malenko the free and keep his light heavyweight title. This is a sleeper hit, and from the reviews I'm seeing,
genuinely on a card like this, people might be tempted to miss this match, do not miss this
Oh,
match.
crumbs, no, do not miss this match. From what I've seen on the reviews, this is like the highest rated match.
And also, like, it's worth saying as well, this is good for watching, getting a context of time. Just see the response that the worm gets from the fans.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Like, if anyone sleeps on Dean Malenko as well.
80% of that arena is off their seat.
Yeah.
When the worm happens.
I'd say if anyone has not seen Dean Malenko, is not like a big fan or doesn't, understand it, this is the great introductory match to how good Dean Malenko is. Like, if you're a WWE casual fan, go watch this match. You may be interested to watch all of his great matches in WCW. No, great match. Absolutely amazing match. We then cut to Vince with the McMahon-Helmsley regime and the Stooges. It's Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson back once more. Vince telling them that if you want to be here with us, with the regime, then it's got to be all hands on deck. You know what that means? You got to be faithful to me. So it's all hands on deck. He really is getting over all hands on deck in this backstage segment. So we all know what that means, of course. If that means he's trying to get the Stooges back with him, we all know what that means in the main event. All right, we cut to the next match.
Wasn't there something with Stephanie as well? I can't remember. I remember Stephanie being there, but she may have just been there.
Stephanie was just there.
Okay, I just remember her being there, and I can't remember if she was there for something important or if she was just there.
She was just there. She's always there. Just annoying the heck out of everybody at that time. No. Next up, we get the We get a tag team match of Bull Buchanan and the Big Boss Man versus the Acolytes. The Shield's dad and uncle entering first.
So accurate.
It really is. Like, I mean, what better way to wear tactical gear? Wear sunglasses indoors as well. That'll get you really over.
That's what people who wear tactical gear do, though.
Is that true though? I never once saw the Shield wear sunglasses. They wore those weird mesh face masks.
That is I keep thinking that they did, but they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, they never wore. The only time any of them I can remember wore sunglasses was when Dean Ambrose dressed up like the Mountie.
Yes. That's the only time I remember. But no, what can I say about this match? This match wasn't that memorable. Basically, what I've got here in my notes is big hosses bumping meat and kicking lumps out of each other.
Well, I mean, it's the Acolytes. It's got Bradshaw in it. So Bradshaw's prerogative is just, it's like, well, what's the best way to make it convincing? If I just actually hit you in the chest.
Yeah. So like punches and bunches, big boots, a big shoulder block from Bradshaw from the top rope to Bull Buchanan. Farouk with massive punches and bunches and big giant back suplexes. For a little moment in this match, Bossman doesn't sell Bradshaw's offense for a bit.
Oh God!
He Bradshaw does a clubbing bow to his back, and Bossman's like, "Yeah, I'm not having that. Fuck you." And then he takes him to the corner, hits him again, throws him outside, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not sending you throwing me to the outside." So I don't know if there was a little bit of miscommunication there, but again,
obviously Bradshaw.
Even if I was Bradshaw, I wouldn't even want to mess with Bossman, would you?
Well,
yeah. Can I also?
It's worth saying at this time, right? And again, this feels into a whole bigger thing. But like Bradshaw worked to keep up this weird reputation that he was like the backstage enforcer.
Yeah.
So he had this habit of just straight up like shooting on people in matches when he felt like they weren't respecting him. Yeah, but to be fair though, if you're a boss man, like, you don't take that.
Yeah, this was a time as well that Bradshaw and Farouk very much were that side of enforcers, but especially if anyone came from WCW, they would stiff them hard way. They would stiff them a lot during the tag matches. The most notable one being when they faced off against the Public Enemy on a Sunday Night Heat.
Watching that match is like watching like a crime scene.
It really bloody is.
Also, is it weird that the Big Boss Man of all people lasted until the turn of the century?
Absolutely, because it was kind of shortly after this that he would end up leaving. And looking at a time, just kind of disappearing from the wrestling world.
Yeah, because he didn't.
I don't know, but I mean, like it's worth saying for me. I don't think the Big Boss Man would have survived now.
True.
No. Especially, it's surprising he even came back to the WWF because he'd spent his time in WCW as Big Bubba, as a lackey for the NWO, but then he came back, full on kind of like renovated character for the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Again, like I think it worked in the time. I mean, again, as always in any of these matches that involves a certain person in it, gotta give a shout to Bull Buchanan.
Yes, for this ending sequence as well.
Crazy athletic for his size.
I think it was 6. I think it was 6. Billed as 6'7", but he's doing like backslide rolls, backflips off of Bradshaw's back. He's doing some top rope up offense, and landing on his feet, which is insane. But
because I remember he used to do the thing where he just used to straight up like jump over to the top rope and start laying in punches.
Yes.
Like that man, like if we say he's build 6'7", we say he's probably 6'4".
I believe now he works as as one of the head guards, maybe even the warden for a prison now. So he fully went into his character.
That's delightfully appropriate.
Yeah.
But no, crazy athletic for his size, and he's quite one of those people. I'm always thinking like, I'm always surprised they didn't go further. But
then he became B squared, so Yeah. So arrest hold and hot dogging from Buchanan and Bossman to set up for the end. Nightstick shot from Bossman and a bull cannon from Buchanan. A top rope scissor kick, the bull cannon for the 3. I will say this match went a little bit too long. It was a tad boring, but it was two teams of big hosses bumping meat. So
it was a filler match, but when you consider what they came off as well, like the 2 matches before, kind of needed sometimes. Sometimes you just need a horse match just to kind of tone it down.
Absolutely. So we get another backstage segment. Matt and Jeff Hardy talking about the upcoming hardcore title match, saying that they may have to fight one another. Jeff retorting to that, going, "You damn near broke my jaw." And then they just walk out. And then we get another backstage segment with Crash Holly polishing his belt, and then Bob Holly beating Crash's ass. And then we get into the hardcore title match. Crash Holly versus Hardcore Holly versus Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy versus Taz versus Perry Saturn. So it's the usual hardcore match for this time.
Yeah, usual hardcore match. But can I please address one point with this?
Go on.
Okay, right. This match happening is pointless.
It really is. Like, these hardcore matches at this time, especially during the 24/7 era, were kind of pointless.
Go.
Yeah.
Why is there a match? Just make it so that Crash Holly just runs out after the previous match.
I mean, what I will say is that this match was a lot better than the WrestleMania 2000 match. I mean, they didn't botch the ending.
It's always good when you don't botch the ending, isn't it?
I guess the only kind of big highlight of this match is when Crash decides to, this is the 24/7 rule. I'm fucking off out of it.
Yeah.
The big highlight, of course, is Crash being chased by all of the other competitors, and he decides, no, instead of going out through backstage, I'm just going to climb on one of the hooks and see if anyone won't follow me. Turns out Matt Hardy is all right and quite adept at climbing things, so he's just going to follow Crash Hardy. And it's swinging as they're both on the hook, and then just like Matt twats Crash in the face, and he does the hangman spot where he gets his leg caught, and he's hanging upside down. Crash gets the win in this match. Again, it's kind of a match that's atypical of the hardcore scene at this time. Nothing really to write home about, and Crash Holly, of course, maintaining his win and maintaining the 24/7 rule. There were some funny moments during this era, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's a match.
Yeah, it's like it is a bit stupid, it's a little bit ridiculous, but at the same time, though, for the WWE's hardcore division and what it kind of was at that point, like, I thought it was pretty good.
It wasn't too bad at all. We then get to another backstage. God, there are so many backstage segments during this.
Yeah, there were a lot back in the day.
Well, no, 'cause that's the thing. That was kind of par for the course at the time.
Gosh, yeah, it really was. I knew there were a hell of a lot in WrestleMania, but I didn't realize there were so many during this pay-per-view. I must have completely forgot about it. But we have Jonathan Coachman interviewing Shane McMahon. Sorry, that's the reason I coughed, because I had to say Shane McMahon.
Shane O'Mac.
About calling the match down the middle because he is the special guest referee for tonight's main event. Like he's gonna call the match down the middle.
Get it? Like it's okay though, right? They're gonna do it. They're gonna respect the shirt.
But I guess this is kind of like the right call. If you were going to pick any McMahon to be the referee, I guess it was Shane, because let's not forget that he started out his career in the WWF as a ref called Shane Stevens. In the early 90s.
I was just gonna say Shane is the Chaos Child, so
well, that as well.
Like, you can't always trust him to do the right thing because it's Shane.
Alrighty then, we on to the next match. Kurt Angle versus The Big Show. We're in this period now where Show is parodying other wrestlers, and a couple of weeks previously he ended up being the Big Scottish Show in a tag match with Kurt. Kurt didn't like that and decided to slap him in the face, which started this rivalry. And now we get the blow-off match at Backlash about a few weeks later. Kurt Angle, man, this is like, he's a few months now into his main roster run, and he's, it's amazing how well Kurt Angle is doing at this point. Like, I mean, he's jacked as all hell. He is looking like he is trimmed as all heck. He has got the promos down to a fine art. His character of being a completely oblivious, like, heel, like being the Dudley Do-Gooder and being, all about America. He's cutting a promo as he makes his entrance, talking about his comparison to Abe Lincoln, because, of course, they're in Washington, D.C.
Get it?
Makes his whole shtick about that. And a Big Show. And as I said, he's in this period where he's parodying other wrestlers and mimicking them. Reardon, do you remember who Big Show came out as at Backlash?
No, who did he come out as?
Suddenly, Real American starts playing as Big Show comes out as Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Jesus. That happened.
The Showster, as they call him.
I hate it, and yet I don't hate it as much as I think I should.
What's really surprising is that he does a pretty good Hogan impression. He cuts an atypical Hogan promo. So, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's terrible. So yeah, I mean, this match only goes 2 minutes. There's really not much to this match apart from the sight of a 7-foot man doing Hogan shtick. He does the hulking up to start off with. Does the big boot into the leg drop.
I mean, yeah, the main things I remember taking out of this match was for some reason during his own promo, he just Kurt Angle decides to get heat on Bill Clinton.
Yeah, for some bizarre reason.
Like, I don't know what the purpose of that was, but he just decided it. And then also just obviously all the Hogan stuff. And whatever with Big Show, and it's kind of crazy to think that Big Show had only been in WWE for like WWF for like a year at that point.
Yeah,
and that was happening.
When creative have nothing for you.
It's crazy to think though from this match, it was only like 6 months later, and then Kurt Angle was champion.
Yeah, been squashed by Taz in 2000, lost both his European and Intercontinental titles at WrestleMania, gets squashed by the Showster. But then 6 months later becomes WWF champion. That's the way to do it. But no, Show ends this one quickly with a chokeslam to Kurt for the win. Moving on, we get the tag match I think a lot of people, myself included, do remember. And that is the Dudley Boys versus TNA, Test and Albert. Not tits and ass, as Vince Russo would say.
Oh boy.
Definitely not versus TNA wrestling.
This, of course, is the time where Bubba Ray Dudley's in his psychopath phase of putting women through tables. Of course, the very famous...
It's such a stupid gimmick, but I don't know about it. So I love it kind of weirdly.
Of course, the most infamous one is when he put Mae Young through a table at the entrance ramp. And the one thing I always remember from this is the cold, dead stare that Bubba would do.
Yeah, whenever he used to put anyone through a table, he just used to stare directly, even into the camera though, which was the thing that made it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I remember with this though is that there's like a backstage promo where it's just like Trish Stratus hyping Bubba up into just putting her through a table, and I'm just like, huh?
Okay, so the story of this is that his one true desire is to put Trish Stratus through a table, and Trish is trying to do everything to stop him from doing so, making out, trying to be an object, like very sexy object of desire, not putting her through a table, but putting her on the table, as Trish actually says during this promo.
Wow!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And then, of course, we cut after that to the backstage promo from Trish, which, by the way, we cut to Bubba watching the said promo of Trish. And Devon tries to snap Bubba out of it, and he's just...
let's just say at this point, right, by the time... Like, Trish was still fairly new to WWF at this point.
Yeah.
But, like, they were wilding.
They were really wilding for her.
Jesus. Although, I don't think that Trish quite understands that Dudleys and tables are the one true pairing in existence.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like they are fully they're literally, the point of this segment is just like Bubba Ray is gonna put Trish through a table.
What I love about this this promo with Devon trying to snap Bubba out of it is that Bubba's completely oblivious and just every so often just points at the screen going, oh. and Devon's having none of it and just slaps him in the face. And then we get to the course of the match, and as the bell goes, Bubba Ray, completely oblivious to Test and Albert, gets out of the ring, goes straight after Trish. Test cutting him off with a giant lariat, and then of course we get a big start from Albert and Devon doing some big hoss moves, as Albert always does during his match. Just big distraction from the ref from Test. Gives the Dudleys the opening to do the what up to Albert's. And can I just say, Test was freaking awesome.
Dude, I don't care. I will die on this hill. Test was incredible.
Test, I'm saying, as a big guy with long blonde hair, would we dare say that he was a little bit more agile than Kevin Nash?
Oh yeah.
I mean, his big boot is something to behold.
I was going to say, have you, because when Test used to get his big boot in proper, it looked almost like the Claymore does now.
Yes. No,
Test was genuinely built different.
No, such a freaking awesome guy. Man, taken way too soon. Way too soon.
Way too soon. Didn't get anywhere near the opportunities he should have.
Absolutely. And only because Triple H said, we don't want a Kevin Nash lookalike in our group.
Bro, I don't even care. They could have just kept him solo, and he should have been getting all those opportunities.
Absolutely. Some great double team offense from TNA to Bubba Ray. But to Devon. But of course, Bubba makes the hot tag, but the ref doesn't see. But then Bubba comes back with a hot tag cleaning house and still eyeing up Trish this entire time. The backdrop variant of the 3D for the two, a Baldo bomb, but Test misses the elbow. You can see they clear out Albert, and the Dudleys are ready to go for the 3D. But then Trish distracts Bubba by doing some sexy dancing on the apron. Test rolls up Bubba Ray for the win. TNA win the match. But do you think that was going to be the ending to this? Hell no. They've been building this up for weeks now.
Well, no. First of all, we had Jerry Lawler being horny on Maine.
Oh, Christ. I didn't want to bring that up. But yeah, Jerry was really horny on Maine.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, he really was. Like, Jesus, he was a special sort of extra when Trish was on screen, or when she was like there. Oh god,
Genuinely uncomfortable.
Genuinely uncomfortable. But no, Bubba manages to grab Trish, commands Devon to get the table. Trish, trying to think she could do it again, kisses Bubba Ray, thinking she's got away with it yet again. Bubba grabs Trish by the hair, drags her to the corner. Devon sets up the table, ready for Bubba Ray to do the Brett's rope powerbomb straight through the table. And Bubba Ray, with the stone cold glare in his eyes, has a massive grimace and grin on his face that he's just finally put Trish through a table.
It's crazy to think that they'd revive that entire storyline, like, what, 15 years later in TNA?
Yes. And Dixie Carter. The pride comes before a fall, doesn't it?
We say Dixie Carter. Wasn't Billy Corgan at this event?
Yes, Billy Corgan was at this event as well.
Yeah.
Is it just like they must sacrifice at least one woman on the altar of the table in order to
every single company they go to.
Yeah, in order to sate the pact they made to be the greatest at tables.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Bubba Ray ever did it in ROH. I mean, he was there for like 3 years, but
maybe Maria Kanellis?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm trying to think who it would have been, but it probably would have been either Angelina Love or Quinn McKay.
True, very true. The way they solved this ending, was Trish being stretchered out and into an ambulance after this.
Like, they literally, it's so weird to me, because it's like they just spent like weeks bigging up the fact that it's like Bubba Ray's gonna put Trish through the table. And everyone's just like, yes!
You know what I love about this, though? And the only thing I will give credit to Kevin Dunn for? How easily the ambulance then transitions to Eddie and Chyna coming back from their prom day. Like, no cuts. It goes from the ambulance and then it pans over to a lowrider with Eddie and Chyna in there.
Dude, it's when Kevin Dunn was actually good.
Was he ever good?
Okay, when he was debatably good.
There we go. No, so Eddie and Chyna arrived late to their European title match after their prom date. Eddie in a tux, Chyna in an evening gown. And then the referee comes up and say, "You look, if you're not in the ring in about 2 minutes' time, we're calling off the match and you have to forfeit your title." So they come in through the lowrider. Eddie, I love the mere sight of Eddie having to wrestle in his tuxedo pants and a bow tie. It's just something about that sight just makes me go, God, you were just fucking perfect, weren't you, Eddie?
Yeah, it was. To be fair, like we say this, but that period of Eddie in China was really, really great formative time for Eddie.
Yeah, the weird thing about this, or the surprising thing, I guess you should say, is that they were booked as heels, but the crowd were having none of it. They flipping loved
they weren't having
two.
any of it.
They absolutely love these two because S.A. Rios with Lita were supposed to be the faces in this match, but you would never have known by the reception of the crowd.
Well, of course they should have been faces, S.A. Rios.
But again, not much to really say about this match other than these two are just incredible wrestlers from Mexico, and when you get two guys that have that lineage in Lucha Libre, great things happen, and
I'll always say to people, S.A. Rios, underrated high flyer of this time.
Absolutely,
heavily underrated.
So again, not much really to go over with this match. Both of them put on an absolute clinic, being who they are, being so well versed in Lucha Libre. The way this ends, though, is a little bit different. It doesn't end with the frog splash, but it ends with what I can only describe as a gory special airplane spin.
Yeah, it's not the usual finish. I'm assuming he probably didn't feel comfortable doing a frog splash in tuxedo pants.
Probably. But I liked the look of it. Quite visually appealing.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, as you said with Eddie, the great thing was he was one of the people that did have kind of a few finishes.
Yes.
So it wasn't too far of the realms of possibility.
Gosh, I'm just trying to think now. Frog Splash, Brainbuster, Lasso from El Paso, Gory Special. He had so many when you think about it now.
Lasso from El Paso is such a great name.
Oh, amazing name.
So the ending of this match, Lita rips the dress off of Chyna for the revenge, but Eddie doesn't mind one little bit, and I can tell you that Jerry Lawler doesn't mind one little bit as well.
Again, Jerry Lawler, heavy-handedly horny.
I'm pretty sure, like halfway through this match, we just hear the rhythmic thudding of the announce table as Jerry just goes ever so slightly. I'm just kidding.
Because the thing about it, right? No, okay, right. Here's the thing, right?
Oh God.
It's so funny because JR is just like, I don't think I've ever seen this before, King. And then King's just like, he is roasting.
Oh, jeez Louise, yeah. So then we get to our next match, the penultimate match here. And actually, I think, honestly, this is probably the great decision to put this on as the semi-main event. Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit for the WWF Intercontinental title. Now,
the original Battle of the Chris's.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the history of this is WrestleMania 2000. We had that triple threat match for the Eurocontinental title. Benoit submitted Jericho for the Intercontinental title. Jericho submitted Benoit for the European title. And then, of course, the rivalry kind of ensued from there. And this is one of the very first matches these two would have in WWF together. And, yeah, I mean, oh gosh. What can I say about this match? It was a blooming borderline fantastic match. Great start. I mean, the first 6 minutes of this are some of the best wrestling I've seen from Jericho and Benoit when working together. Yes, even more so than the Super J Cup in '95, I dare say.
Wow.
Great match, great chops. I mean, these two were going stiff, and I think two people that know each other so well, even before they entered the WWF, definitely know how comfortable they're going to work with, and you can definitely tell that these two. I think you can tell that Jericho certainly wanted to be on Benoit's level, so was more than happy to kind of be stiffed quite a number of times from Benoit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the thing is as well is that they had worked together quite a few times before this.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, you kind of have that, you have that shared understanding.
Mm.
You kind of know how far you can go. I mean, again, like Benoit was occasionally known for just stiffing people because that was just how he worked.
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to emulate the Dynamite Kid, who's your favorite wrestler, yeah, you're going to stiff opponents quite a bit, aren't you? No, great selling work as well from Jericho, because he made it look like he was getting hurt, which I can imagine Jericho probably was getting hurt quite a bit.
Almost definitely.
The dodged tope suicida by Benoit was oof. Oh, that was a spot and a half. That made me go ouch.
Yeah, it's not the worst one I've seen.
That would come in Royal Rumble 2001. Holy shit, that one.
Yeah.
It was a lame end to this one. It was a DQ finish, which meant, of course, Benoit retains his match.
I kind of liked it.
When put into comparison to the other matches they had, it kind of ends on a bit of a lame note, I think.
Yeah.
Because it did look like they could go on for another 10 minutes, I felt. Like, it was a solid match up to that point, if you ask me. But yeah, again, this is the sort of thing, and I'd say, everyone can understand this. When you review matches like this with the people and the person that's in it, it's tinged with a heck of a lot of darkness, and when you see some of the spots that he was willing to do and sell, you go to yourself, crumbs on a bicycle. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
you can mention the finish and you think, yeah, that will probably contribute to CTE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, when it comes to any match that involves Benoit, it obviously always has that mark over it.
Yeah, like I mean, I know a lot of people, will try to come to the aid of watching these matches and not forgetting about it, but like it is what it is. Chris did what he did, and you can't not forget that.
As we said before, we had to speak on it. It's that it's not something that you can just put by the side of it. It has to inform everything you do about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go. Sorry.
No, that's it. That was it. I was just agreeing, honestly.
Alrighty, and now we get the main event.
I was gonna say I did like Chris Jericho just deciding to just put the referee in the walls as well.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget that. And of course, Jericho,
because it was good for him, because at this time he was still kind of. I guess I don't want to say he was coming off of being comedy, but he was coming off being a little bit less serious, and they were like, no, we want to be proper serious now.
Yeah, he just come off of the rivalry with China, with the Intercontinental title. So, he was trying his best to come across as a very serious contender at that time. And this definitely was the start, because, he would end up. So I think it was a few months later, would end up having that terrific match against Triple H on Raw, where he would become WWF champion for all of a minute.
Yeah.
And he did he did cut his, very famous Chris Benoit promos, as he usually liked to do at this time.
Chris Benoit.
And I will defeat Chris Benoit on a goat. I will defeat Chris Benoit on a boat. Let us never forget that promo. Alright, yes, so we get to the main event. For the WWF Championship, it is The Rock versus Triple H, with special guest referee Shane McMahon. The Rock with Stone Cold Steve Austin in his corner, and Triple H with Vince and Stephanie in his corner. Now, I do say that The Rock with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but The Rock does come out on his own. And the question that's been lingering this entire pay-per-view is, where is Stone Cold? Is Stone Cold here? Has he arrived yet? Oh, he's not showing up. The Rock's on his own. And so, of course, this match takes advantage of that with, starting off with some silly stuff. I mean, it is a silly match, all in all. Let's be honest. We get, of course, Shane flouting the rules, and The Rock's having absolutely none of it. So, during the match, got a bit into the match, we have The Rock. The only time I've ever seen him, I think he might have done it once or twice, but the only time I've ever seen him do a double rock bottom, grabbing Shane and Vince and slamming them through the announce table. Of course, to bring out, ladies' man and the world's greatest referee, Earl Hebner.
Thank you, Earl Hebner.
Oh,
and to come out and officiate the rest of the match. Of course, Hebner having a rivalry with Triple H at this point as well, believe it or not.
what a weird... Yeah, that's true. Oh, God, what a weird sentence.
And of course, the match goes on as it does. The typical Triple H Rock match. These two do, at this time, one of the biggest faces, one of the biggest heels. They know how to work the crowd tremendously well and to tell a very good storyline. I mean, the match is mostly a brawl. Like, there's no kind of chain wrestling or any sort of great technical spots to speak of. This is just an all-and-out, WWF main event brawl. But amazingly, I would dare say that this match was kind of booked to near perfection for what it was.
I guess the best way to say it is it's definitely overbooked.
Yes.
But in a weird way, it's kind of the only way that they could do it right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, in the tail end of this match, we get the Stooges coming out in referee stripes, taking out Earl Hebner. Shane is back as well, I believe, taking out Earl Hebner. And then we hear, with all the odds against him, and we think that Rock's going to lose this, bang, the glass shatters, and out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin with a steel chair. And as I said, he just twats every single one of them with a chair shot.
I don't know what it is, but Stone Cold's chair shots on a run-in just like completely different to anyone else I've ever seen. He like flings his full body motion.
That's because he holds a chair like Thor wields Mjolnir.
Absolutely.
It's just Jesus. It's like he takes it. He likes like. It's like, you know, when like you watch like old kung fu movies and they telling people how to use a sword, and he has to go, you must use this as an extension of your entire arm.
Yeah, that's Stone Cold in a steel chair. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So yeah, twats Patterson, twats Briscoe, twats Shane, twats Vince. All leads. Even Linda comes out at one point and shoves Stephanie to the ground. Of course, all this leads to the People's Elbow and Rock defying the odds and winning the title, bringing an end to the stranglehold that Triple H has had over the WWF title. This is Game Over, if everyone remembers that. Like, everyone was taking the piss out of Triple H with Game Over. They even made a shirt out of it for him to wear, but bizarrely enough. And a post-match celebration with Steve Austin to see out the crowd and end WWF Backlash and the end of this pay-per-view. So yeah, the one thing I have to say is, God, I've never heard the reception that Austin got when that glass shattered was loud as hell.
Oh, like, again, it's just like that is the marker to like all hell breaking loose.
I remember I remember the pop the week before, the Go Home SmackDown, I believe, where Austin destroyed the DX Express.
Yes.
Also huge.
I went back and watched that one, and I remember I could not for the life of me remember, but absolutely bawling with laughter, that they sped up the footage of Austin destroying the DX Express. So it's like a...
That was the moment that you knew you were going to become an editor.
Yes, that's the moment where I knew I would become an editor. But I love how this is immortalised, not only in No Mercy, but in SmackDown too. This moment of Austin coming back from Backlash and destroying the DX Express. Because I remember in SmackDown 2 with this promo, for some reason they have Austin recite the Austin 316 promo that he did to Jake Roberts. And it's like, that's not how it went. It's like, what? Is he destroying Jake Roberts' bus?
The snake bus.
And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. In the only voice clip, I think, in SmackDown 2, believe it or not. Oh, tell a lie. I think one of the only other ones was JR at the beginning of the legal splash screen going, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof. Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation."
Oh yeah.
See, like, you gotta make good use of them.
That is very true.
Yeah, I mean, this match is just kind of like, you know, it's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
because there's stuff as well. Like, I mean, be it that I haven't watched it in a bit, but I still remember. Isn't there like a thing with like who just keeps doing fast counts and stuff?
Yes.
So like keeps doing fast counts. You know, then the Stooges arrive. Then you have like the Austin appearing and just going crazy and just like launching himself across the ring with a chair.
I think, wasn't it a 4 or 5 hit combo that he hit?
Oh, he does, but it's like, I think it's like the first one where I want to say he hits Shane. He full on jumps into it.
Oh, he does, and then some.
It's like he's halfway to doing a Lou Thez with a chair. It's literally like he's doing a shoulder block, but with a chair. It's insane. And like everything just like that, and just like all the people around, and there's like random bits where just all of a sudden like Linda and Stephanie get involved. Not that I particularly remember those specifically, but
again, it's a McMahon in every corner.
I also don't know if this was exactly the same time as it was, but I feel like this was at the point where the People's Elbow was starting to become more important than the Rock Bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, this time, early to mid 2000, yeah, the People's Elbow was over. Like, really over with the crowd. For a move that became a rib, it became one of the most famous finishing moves of all time.
See, but that's the best bit, though. Because it's like when they did the thing where they were talking about the stunner, and they were like, "Yeah, Rock just started overselling it like hell just because they found it funny."
You gotta find a way to entertain yourself on the road, surely. So
And it's just like I just love that that's become like part of wrestling canon at this point, where it's just like, oh, if you take a stunner, you better bump like hell for it.
Yeah.
or if you're Byron Saxton, you don't need to sell because you just got doinked in the dick.
Also true. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that I love. Like, I mean, as much as like the People's Elbow in itself just exists as a rib, but
Yeah. To pop the boys in the Nation of Domination, he started doing that elbow with theatrics, he called it at the beginning, and then suddenly became the People's Elbow. Crazy how that happens, isn't it? A thing that you were never meant to get over suddenly becomes the biggest thing in professional wrestling.
Yeah. Funny how that
such is
all
the way
works
of
out.
professional wrestling.
Yeah, such is the way.
Such is the way for The Rock to work in general, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So yeah, that concludes Backlash 2000. I rate this in the high numbers if I was to do an out of 10 or out of 5. And again, it still surprises the heck out of me that a lot of people consider this one of the great pay-per-views they did during this time, because yeah, this was a B pay-per-view and this came, straight after WrestleMania. Curious.
Yeah, if I had to say what I give this, I'd probably give it like 8.5, maybe a 9.
That's respectable. I'd say it definitely warrants an 8 for sure. And I guess it's
definitely at least an 8, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got at least 3 matches that are easily like 4-star minimums.
Oh, absolutely.
And you've got like 2 pretty good sleeper hit matches as well.
Yeah.
There's only really like 1 match that's kind of
And that's the tag. I believe that would be the tag match, wouldn't it? Between
and that'd be the tag match.
Yeah, between.
And I mean, like it's not like the Big Show Kurt Angle match goes like 12 minutes or anything. It only goes for like 3. So it's not even that egregiously bad.
Yeah. For the Big Show coming out as Hulk Hogan, believe it or not.
Like, yes, okay. Contextually now, I'm like, oh god, he's dressed like Hulk Hogan. But at least in the context of the time, that wasn't a bad thing yet.
Hey, so I think it was wasn't it a couple of months later that Mideon would come out in his streaker gimmick to Real American?
I don't know. Probably I've chosen to block Mideon out of my head.
Yes, Naked Mideon, I believe he was called at that time, wearing nothing but
just Mideon. Just Mideon in general. I know one thing about Mideon, that Mideon had the European title, and I consider it an affront to the title's existence.
Absolutely. So, Reardon, now that we've gone over this, were there any memories that you took or put into the deep recesses of your mind that have now cropped back up?
It's the Dudleys.
Yes.
It's the Dudleys I remember. I remember everything because I forget how much the Dudleys were my guys at the time.
Yeah.
May we be blessed with that type of energy in everything we do
I thought you
in
were
life.
going to say,
Well, because I've always said, right, like there's something so hot about just them just yelling Devon get the tables.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Insane.
full on sacrifice this person.
And it's crazy. Like this was them coming off of course, the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 2000, and it would only be a couple of months later they would put on TLC 1. So, like, for them, their legend only just and their stock only just goes up at this point.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then, of course, Bubba Ray becomes TNA World Champion with Aces and Eights. But we don't talk about the Aces and Eights just yet. Trust me, we'll get to the Aces and Eights at one point.
People are going to have to pay us to go through Aces and Eights.
Oh, is that a slight foreshadowing there, Dan? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Potentially, but I'm also making that a straight-up statement of fact. People are going to have to...
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I'll do one half of Aces and Eights, but you got to pay for the other half at least.
And on that bombshell, it is time to end this episode of the Sweet Chinwag podcast. Gentlemen, thoughts and feelings after that? I quite enjoyed that.
Stop calling it WrestleMania Backlash. Just call it Backlash.
Please just call it Backlash.
I'm telling you this much. I wonder how many times they're going to put WrestleMania as a tagline to their B pay-per-views leading up to SummerSlam. I'm willing to bet they're going to try. They're going to try and get away with one more.
Well, because after Backlash, I'm trying to think what we have next. But isn't it meant to be? I want to say Extreme Rules.
WrestleMania Extreme Rules.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Extreme WrestleMania.
No, because it will be like Extreme Rules, the fallout from WrestleMania or something.
WrestleMania One Night Stand. There you go. Got it. Perfect.
There we go.
They don't even make WrestleMania one night anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
There should be a third night of WrestleMania.
All right, WrestleMania 3-night stand. Oh gosh, that is a cursed thought. That is
cursed, man.
A 3-night long WrestleMania.
Oh, I'm gonna quickly get on to what we're gonna get onto in the next episode.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
As we're nearing up to the 1-year anniversary of the Sweet Chinwag podcast, which blows my mind. I don't know about you, chaps. That blows my mind.
Oh, mate, I can't believe it, but it is happening.
That shouldn't be possible.
Before we get to that 1-year anniversary, though, with a very special episode, which we will announce soon, our next episode is going to be about the namesake of this podcast. Yes, we're going to be doing a retrospective on the showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania. No, it's not Michael Shane. It's Shawn Michaels. I am looking forward to this one because Shawn's career is very up and down. But there's one thing we always can, I think every wrestling fan can agree on, is that Shawn always put on outstanding matches.
Yeah.
We'll
get to it.
When he behaves himself.
We will.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's
a fascinating tale.
It's split into 2 time periods. It's what I'm going to term before God and after God.
literally
or
that.
Before Christ, after Christ. But you know, that's the time framing.
Yeah, you could literally say, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about Shawn Michaels or Shawn Michaels BC?
God, you two doing that just made me pig squeal there. The laughter. I got my real laugh came out there.
Oh God.
Oh God. Right. Anyway, while I'm a broken mess still, we've got all that to look forward to on the next episode. But until then, I have been Sam. This has been Dan and Reardon, and you've been listening to the Sweet Chinwag podcast. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye, you lovely lot.
Bye bye.
Get the table.
Get the table.
Always get the tables.